Let's just cut to the chase and address the elephant in the room. You still want to lose weight, but you have spent so much of your time dieting in the past, feeling really chaotic with food. You're exhausted, or mentally and emotionally depleted and exhausted. The thought of dieting literally fills you with dread. It makes you feel anxious, have so much doubt in your mind because there's so many past times that you tried dieting in the past, even worked with fitness coaches or personal trainers before, and nothing has worked because you've always got back to this place of feeling really chaotic with food, binge eating, emotional overeating, feeling very compulsive and obsessive about food. Still don't feel confident in your body. You've even tried intuitive eating before. You tried intuitive eating because the thought of food just being easy, you want food to not take so much mental space in your mind. You tried intuitive eating and you actually found that you were gaining weight. Food was still causing a lot of stress and anxiety, not giving you the physical results that you want. And you look at other people who are doing quote unquote intuitive eating, they seem to lose weight or maintain a healthy, lean, toned body. How the hell are they doing it, and what are you doing wrong? And if that is you, you are in the right place. In this video, I'm going to break down exactly how you can lose body fat, get a lean, toned body that you actually feel confident in, so that you can get rid of this goal that's been on your New Year's resolution list probably many years of losing weight. Get to that point where you feel confident in your body. Food loses the mental space that it's taking up in your mind, and you don't feel so chaotic with food. Stop obsessing over food, obsessing over the scale, calories, all of the things. You can actually just live your life as a normal person. If you are new around here, I'm Hetty and I'm a personal trainer and women's food freedom, fitness and confidence coach. I struggled with my relationship with food for many years in the past. I had numerous struggles with food when it came to binge eating, my body. I had very low self-esteem and I felt extremely chaotic with food. That chaotic, in fact, that my eating habits at one point just became so disordered, and I honestly felt so disconnected from my body. I understand how to eat properly. I went on my first diet when I was 7 years old, so I spent majority of my life on a diet in some capacity. Now I'm able to help other women achieve a body that they feel confident in and feel happy, and most importantly, create a balanced and healthy relationship with food. Let's break this down step by step, what we need to do in order to lose the body fat and create a lean, toned body that you feel confident in without the obsession, without the chaos with food. The first thing that we're going to need to do is we're going to need to identify what our habits and relationship with food is actually like. And what I mean by this is basically uncovering what your habits and relationship with food actually look like day to day. How do you eat day to day? What are your unconscious and subconscious habits with food? You might consciously try to track your calories, or you might consciously think, I'm going to try and listen to my hunger and fullness cues today. Or what are the habits that nearly almost always happen? What do you find yourself doing that you wish you wouldn't do? What are the habits with food that you just can't seem to stop? These are the habits that are running the show, and these are the habits are specifically giving you your physical results when it comes to your body. It's looking at these deep-rooted habits and behaviors that are so subconscious and so automatic that we don't even realize we're doing them half the time. They are the things that are driving the show. Most of the time people try to look for a new diet to try, where in the beginning that might create some results, but you are using your conscious mind, you're focusing on something. However, 95% of your physical results and your physical behaviors day to day come from your subconscious. Your subconscious meaning all of the habits and behaviors that you have with food that are literally so automatic that you don't even realize that you're doing them. So for example, this could look like by the afternoon, you have intense cravings for sugar. At the end of the day, when everyone's gone to sleep, you find yourself stood in the kitchen and you're eating it's a biscuit. Being very secretive with the kinds of foods that you're eating. Maybe you mindlessly snack and graze throughout the day. Bored, you're drawn to more sweeter foods, Or maybe perhaps you try to eat really healthy in the week, but then on the weekend when you're around certain people, you find yourself overeating around certain types of people. Another example, something that is very, very common, especially with the women that I work with, and you feel very overwhelmed and stressed, instantly feel the need to eat or go to the shops and buy a big family size bar of chocolate, devour something in the house on your own. Do you feel more drawn to eating alone and you want to be alone when you're eating? Do you have anxiety eating around other people? What we need to do is get so clear on what our specific habits with food actually look like. Do you binge eat and you feel that compulsive around food that you physically cannot stop? Do you feel like whenever you feel any strong, intense emotions, that's when you feel the need to just grab a packet of biscuits or crisps or whatever, just eat as much as you can? The thing is, we need to get so crystal clear on what our habits and behaviours are with food, the subconscious habits and behaviours with food, because no diet or no amount of conscious effort of trying to eat healthy will ever override those subconscious habits and behaviours. We have to kind of bring them out, bring awareness to them. Without that, nothing we try will ever work. We need to first identify what our habits with food actually look like, because it's within those habits with food creating our physical results with our body and also with how we feel. And this is what's causing the chaos with food that you're currently feeling, because on one hand you might have this conscious goal of wanting to lose weight and feel healthy, but at the same time you also have all of these contradicting thoughts and beliefs about food, about what's healthy, and you doubt yourself, and then you question, and then you compare yourself to other people or people online. You even look back on old photos of yourself and think that's where I was more disciplined, but at the same time your body feels so out of whack, you feel restricted physically and mentally, and that's when your relationship with food starts to feel really chaotic. And as a byproduct of that chaos that's going on internally, that is what's giving us our physical results, i.e. that's where you're seeing the scale start to creep up, because all of the chaos that's going on within ourselves and the subconscious, not conscious. So perhaps even you have struggled with binge eating or compulsive overeating or emotional overeating. Maybe you're not 100% sure what your habits actually are, you just know that you feel really chaotic. If that does sound like you, I actually offer some free food habit assessments where we break down all of your habits with food, help you identify what's going on so that you know exactly what you need to do in order to create the results that you want. I'll link below access to booking a free food habit assessment with me. Together we can help you identify what's exactly going on. Step number 2, this is so important, and without this step everything else can't happen. However, without step number 1, we don't first know what it is that we're working with. Instead, what we need to do is, from the habits and behaviours with food that we identified in step number 1, we then need to put our focus, instead of trying to eat healthy, trying to eat intuitively, instead what we need to do is put all of our attention and our effort into healing that habit and breaking that habit and behaviour, and have that as our main focus. This is what's going to create and build the transformation. So let's say, for example, you identified in step number 1 that your habit with food is currently, whenever you feel stressed, whenever you feel emotional, sad, upset, even happy, you find yourself reverting to eating, whether it be sugar, chocolate, carbs, whatever. You feel drawn to eating foods when you feel strong emotions. So we've identified here that we have an emotional overeating habit, in which case, instead of trying to put our energy into eating healthy or starting a new diet or tracking our calories, what we need to do is healing that habit and breaking that habit itself. So we need to focus all of our attention instead on looking at with how we deal with our emotions, learning how to process our emotions properly, identify the emotions that we're feeling, and identify what it is that's the internal process that's actually going on that's causing us, whenever we feel stressed, that's causing us to go and turn to food in the first place. For example, you've identified that you have a binge eating habit or a compulsive overeating habit. You can't quite differentiate whether or not it's an emotional response, but you know that you feel very compulsive around food. Instead, what we need to do, instead of dieting, we need to focus all of our time and attention and focus around breaking the habit of binge or compulsive overeating. And if that sounds like you, I literally have a whole list of videos just talking about binge eating, so I will list it all below in the caption. Now, just a side note, so once we put our focus and attention on healing the relationship and healing the habit that we have with food, what this is going to do is this is literally going to change your behavior and habit at the root. So like what I was saying before, if we have a subconscious habit that no matter how hard we try, we always revert to food whenever we feel stressed or overwhelmed, if we put all of our focus and attention into that, that is what's going to change how we behave with food. So next time you feel stressed, overwhelmed, emotional, you will be able to identify that without turning to food. Now, what this is going to do in and of itself is you're not going to be eating compulsively. You're not going to be turning to food when you feel stressed. In which case, if you are eating less, you will start to lose weight naturally. If that has always been your habit with food, you're going to be reducing the amount of calories that you're eating naturally without even jumping on another diet, without even looking at the types of foods that you're eating day to day. This is why healing your relationship with food is so important, because this is probably one of the biggest components of what is causing your weight to go up in the first place. It is your subconscious habits and behaviors with food that's driving the show. However, we are not finished yet. Even just doing step number 1 and step number 2, you will most likely see a big change in just how you feel day to day with your relationship with food and also your weight as well. You will notice this is usually what happens with my clients. Even before we even started looking at training and nutrition, they start to see their weight start to come down as a byproduct of working on their relationship with food, the specific habits with food. And step number 3 is next looking at your relationship and beliefs about food and your body. Now again, this ties in with what we've already spoken about with our subconscious and conscious beliefs and habits. What we need to do here is understand what beliefs we have about food and our body, because these beliefs are what is also driving your behaviors and maybe even some self-sabotage in when it comes to weight loss. For example, maybe you've literally spent years of your life trying to diet, trying to lose weight, that maybe there's a big subconscious part of you that you don't actually fully believe that you're able to lose weight. Maybe you've struggled with food for the longest time and you naturally actually believe that you're just greedy or you really like to eat. If that's a subconscious belief that you're not even aware of, that will always play out in the behaviors that you have with food. You might also have certain beliefs about food, about what food makes you gain weight, or you feel bad if you eat certain foods. So again, we need to look at our beliefs and relationship to certain foods. This again, and this alone, will dictate how you feel and how you interact with food. If you have a subconscious belief that carbs are bad, you will probably feel anxious around eating carbs, but then also self-sabotage. And if you have a bad day or you do find yourself eating carbs or craving carbs, you might overeat or eat more impulsively because of that. So again, we really need to look at subconscious beliefs and our conscious beliefs, because these are really dictating how we interact with food. And we can't achieve the fat loss results that we want if we have beliefs that are all contradicting each other. Just like what I was saying before, if we have a desire to lose weight in a way that feels sustainable and healthy, but also we have really restrictive beliefs about ourselves and about what we should eat every day or how many calories that we should eat, carbs are bad, these kind of beliefs that are running the show, or even if you have a belief that you're never going to actually achieve the body that you want, that will always play a part in what you do and how well you do it, and also the behaviors that you take and whether or not you succeed. No diet will ever override those subconscious beliefs. So that is why the belief work and subconscious work, literally all of the work that I do with my clients, and why we focus so much on working with your specific relationship with food and how you interact with food, because this literally dictates how you interact with food, which then dictates your physical results. That is what's causing the scale to go up. That is what's causing you to feel chaotic with food. So healing your relationship with food, because I feel like we hear all of this all of the time, but it basically means to rewire how you interact with food. If you've spent most of your life on a diet or feeling restricted, you won't interact with food the same way as what somebody else would who's never dieted before. You also will feel very disconnected to what your body is telling you, because you're operating from your mind instead of connecting with your body. So your body's hunger cues are going to be completely out of whack. Until we work on healing our relationship with food, that's only then when we can start to make conscious choices around food that make us feel good, that actually help us get lean results, create a lean and toned, healthy body that we want. And once you do that, once you work on your relationship with food, that's when you start to feel calm and balanced around food. Food no longer gives you anxiety. You're not questioning every single mouthful that you have. You're not obsessing over the calories. You're not obsessing over what you're eating tomorrow. You're not fantasizing about meals you wish you could eat or what foods you wish you could eat. Experiencing intense cravings all of the time, sugar cravings, driving you crazy that you're trying to push to the side. Chaos stops once you work on your relationship with food and also your beliefs around food. And then lastly, we need to reconnect with our body again. So like what I just said, at the minute, you are probably operating a lot from your mind. You're thinking the calories in that thing. How many calories do I need to be eating? Is this too much? Is this too little? Am I full? Am I not? It's all very mental chatter that's kind of driving how we feel, which then creates a stress response in our body. So again, we're just more and more disconnected from ourselves and our body. Let me just summarize what we've already just spoken about. So we've identified what our habits and behaviors are with food. We've understood, okay, I have an emotional overeating habit, or I feel quite restricted. I have a binge eating habit. Whatever it looks like, you've then started to put all of your focus into not looking at what everybody else is doing, not trying to eat healthy. Instead, you've put all of your focus on healing and breaking that specific habit and behavior. You've focused on healing your relationship with food. From that point, you've started to feel calm as a result of that. The habits have started to stop. And this doesn't even have to take long. Literally within a few weeks, sometimes my clients go from completely feeling out of control with food, binge eating, compulsive overeating, to then no longer overeating. And that's when all of a sudden, you actually start to see physical results. The scale starts to come down, jeans feel looser already, and that's even without trying to lose weight at this point. That's literally just healing your relationship with food. From that point, we then start to work on our relationship and our beliefs with food and our body. Start to rewire some of the noise and beliefs that you've took on from years and years, even from childhood, dieting that you've taken on. And all of a sudden, you're starting to feel more calm, more relaxed around food. You feel like food is no longer an issue. It's just something that you eat day to day, which is a really fun part, which I love to see when I'm working with clients, because it's at this point when they actually start to feel completely free, and it's almost like the veil has just been lifted, and they're like, holy shit, how was I living my life like that before? And it doesn't even take that long. It's literally a step-by-step process that we do. From that point, you're already feeling leaner because you're not binge eating anymore. You're already feeling calmer around food, and you feel satisfied, you feel happy again. And from that point, you have more mental capacity and space for other things, your hobbies, your work, your relationships, all of the things. So things are already starting to shift. So from there, you're already feeling happy, but also you're consuming so much less calories than you were before, because before you were chaotic, before you was operating from your mind, all of the chatter that was going on, so the weight was going up. Whereas now you're feeling calmer, you're feeling happier, and as a result, your weight is coming down, your jeans are feeling looser, the scale is coming down. And that's even without looking at nutrition, that's even without trying to lose weight. When we're looking at connecting with our bodies again, this is something that I work closely with my clients. We experiment what kinds of foods make them feel good. What does full actually look like? What does fullness feel like? What does hunger feel like? And how hungry do we need to be in order to eat our next meal? What kind of foods make us feel energized? What kinds of foods make us feel fatigued and sluggish? It's from this point then where we're experimenting and we're actually starting to see our weight balance. And from there, that's when we can be more strategic and create the energy that we want to feel. And it's from that energetic place where we feel good, we feel energized, also mentally and physically satisfied. We're not deprived at this point. We're not telling ourselves, I can't eat this or I can't eat that. Food is abundant, but we're coming at it differently because we're connected with our bodies at this point. And it's from there, that's when we feel energized enough to go to the gym. We feel energized, exercise and move our body in a way that feels good. And this is where we start to create that body lean, toned, healthy look, whatever it looks like for you. That's when we start shifting and creating a lifestyle that feels super sustainable, it feels balanced and it feels normal, and it's not super restrictive, it's not super punishing. And from there, that's when we feel completely balanced with food. Appetite really regulates itself, but we feel energized and our body is starting to change. We start losing more body fat. If that is the goal, we start looking more lean, we start looking more toned, and we actually just feel really damn confident in our body. The work that I do with my clients, and I absolutely love it, because then they start to realize that food does not need to be the main part of your life. You don't need to obsess over food to lose weight. You don't need to feel crazy with food. We can actually live our life normally without it being the main focus of our mind. If we don't address our habits with food and our subconscious beliefs and relationship with food, that is literally driving and creating your physical results when it comes to your weight in your body. Without addressing that, no amount of dieting, no amount of trying to eat healthy will ever change until we do that. And that's literally what I do with my clients. We work one-on-one together where we literally rewire, change so much deep-rooted habits and compulsive behaviors. Literally, as I said, some clients come to me and within a matter of weeks, binge eating is completely stopped, overeating and emotional overeating is completely stopped, and they start to see their weight come down already, even just from step one. And if you do really want to work on this and get to a point where you feel good in your body without obsessing over food and you want to stop dieting for good, that's literally what we do in Balanced Body Blueprint. This is my one-on-one coaching program. I will link down in the description box below how you can work with me one-on-one. I currently have an offer on for the month of January. If you're watching this or listening to this, the month of January, I have £100 discounted, so definitely get in touch if that's something that you want to do and you're wanting to take seriously this time. Once you do this, your life will change in so many amazing ways. Not only will you feel physically the best you've ever felt, but you'll realize that your life literally opens up because food is no longer dictating every single thing that you do. Like I said, Balanced Body Blueprint is exactly where we do all of this. You work one-on-one with me and we change and transform your relationship with food, how you interact with food, and your body as a result. So I will leave that down in the description box below. I hope that you've enjoyed this video or this episode. If you have, please like or subscribe. If you would like to hear and see more, comment down below how you're feeling going into the new year. And with that, I'll see you in the next video.